Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, this is Peter MacDonald from Tuba City, Arizona. Thank you for tuning in, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and all of you out there. It's really a joy to communicate with you, even though I like to see your faces and your reaction to what I'm saying. But right now I'm just looking into the camera and visualize that you're watching me and listening. This evening, I want to tell you a story about a young Navajo boy who grew up in ancient times when there was no one living here within the four sacred mountains except Navajos. Columbus maybe he wasn't even born yet. And this story, official name in Navajo is Natinesta. Natinesta in Navajo means one who taught himself. Story starts somewhere on the eastern side, northeastern side of this whole Navajo nation. The Navajo world has always been within the four sacred mountains. From the time we start out in the first world, the second world, the third world, got to the fourth world, and all these structures, sacred mountains, rivers, hills, and many other things were put in place along with us. The Holy One make sure that everything is put in place that will sustain us into eternity. Lessons were learned, how to take care of this and that, and how to use this herb or that tree or the river, all of that. Through all sorts of stories. Some stories are only told in the winter before the first thunder. Some can be told throughout the year. And this story I'm going to tell you, Natinesta, one who taught himself, is a story probably not too many people know, because it's a long story. If you really want to know the entire story, it probably take more than a year to learn the entire story of what I'm going to tell you in about short 40 minutes. So it's just a very brief summary. What I'm going to point out through this story is what this story tells us, what you learn. Besides, whoever learns this story from A to Z within 2 to 3 years actually becomes a medicine man derived from this ceremony, derived from this story. The story begins a family living near Four Corners, the present-day Four Corners, at the foot of Caruso Mountain. And this young boy learned how to be resourceful. He went out with his grandpa to hunt, first small animals, and as he gets a little bit older, to bigger animals like deer, elk, and how to capture eagles, and how to harvest different herbs. So this young boy, when he became a teenager, began to see a lot more things. He travels out to the east as far as he could go, to the south, to the west, to the north. And he sees things. He also finds other people, some of them different languages. And he learned how to gamble. In the old days, there were several ways that Navajos gamble. One is they have tzetil, they have very slender pieces. One side is blackened, the other side is clear. And you have three of them. You have a rock and you have stones around the edge. And you take those three thin sticks, bounce it on the rock, and they'll fall. Maybe they're one white one, two black ones, or two white ones, one black one, or all black or all white. And you bet, they bet each other. And now whoever goes around the circle first, of course, wins. And he also learned to gamble other things. And he got so bad at gambling, addicted to it, that he doesn't go hunting with his grandpa anymore or his father. He doesn't even help at home. He doesn't go out, get some wood, chop the wood for fire, or go get some water in a pottery. He was become very useless at home. Finally, he starts stealing things from his parents to gamble it away someplace else. So his parents told him, look, you have taken our bracelet, you have taken our beads, you've taken our buckskin, and you took it out as a hogan and you gambled it away somewhere, and you lost it. You can't do that anymore. We don't want you to live in this hogan with us anymore. So his father told him to get out. Well, his grandma was living right close by, so he went over there. His grandfather passed away, but his grandma is still alive. So he told his grandma, my father kicked me out the Hogan. I have no place to stay. Well, grandma, like all good grandmas, said, come here, grandson. You could stay here. There's an extra sheepskin. Use that for your bed. But you gotta help us here. One of his niece was taking care of the grandma. So grandma said, this is your sister, your niece rather. She helps me, and you're going to help us to get some wood and water, and maybe we know you were a good hunter. Maybe get us some meat, go out and hunt. So he just, one who taught himself, got comfortable at his grandma's home, and actually went out and hunt and brought back rabbits or deer, elk as meat. So he was very helpful. And but that addiction he had acquired of gambling still with him. So one day he took one of the beads that his grandma had hanging in a hogan, took it and gambled it away. At this point, the grandma told him, look, you know what happened to you when you live with your parents and your father told you to get out. You were gambling things that they own and you losing them. You're trying to do the same thing in our hogan. We don't have very much of anything. We're poor. You can't do that. So, this Natinestha, one who taught himself, decided, well, I guess I better just leave this whole place, the whole family, and find another place to live. So he journeyed toward the east, spent several days, couldn't find anything that he really liked or where he wants to live or with whom he wants to live. He went toward the south, spent several days, maybe weeks, nothing. Comes back to the west, nothing. So he comes back to his grandma's place and said, look, I try to leave here because I'm not welcome here, but I cannot find a place to go to. So he said, I'm going to try one more time. I'm going toward the river, the San Juan River that exists now. He said, I'm going to go to the river and see what I could find. So he did. And at the river, they saw the river running and some branches floating. And he kept wondering, I wonder where this river is going. I've been to the east, to the south, to the west, to the north, and couldn't find an end. It just keeps going. I wonder where this river goes. I wonder where it ends. Maybe I'll just put myself in this river and float and let it take me wherever it goes. So, with that thought, he started to make a boat, Tana'el. And while he was doing that, he heard a voice. The voice, he looked around, didn't see anybody. So he went back to work. He heard the voice again. The fourth time, he saw a figure. The figure was Ye'i, a spiritual deity, stood in front of him and asked him, "What are you doing?" He said, "I'm fixing a boat." And this spiritual being, Ye'i, said, "What for?" Because he said, "I'm going to put myself in the boat because I'm not wanted here anymore, and I'm going to float wherever it takes me because I don't know where to go." The Ye'i then said to him, "That boat's not any good that you're building. It's going to tumble on you, and you'll die in the river." Ye'i then said, "If you want my help, I can help you build a boat that's not going to sink. It will be a spiritual boat that will take you wherever the river flows." So, Natanesta said, "Okay, Ye'i, I need your help. Can you help me?" Ye'i said, "Yes, but there's a price. There's nothing for free." "What's the price?" Natanesta asked. Ye'i said, "I need 12 precious stones, turquoise, obsidian, and black onyx, and all these different precious stones." He named all of them. He said, "I want that." Well, the young boy said, "Sure, I could get. I know where I could find them. I'll get it for you. And if I get it for you, you're going to help me build a boat that's not going to sink, a spiritual boat?" Ye'i said, "Yes, I can do that. I'll give you 4 days. Get me those 12 precious stones." So, the boy went back to his grandmother's place and talked to his niece, told her everything that happened and what Yei said, what Yei want. Then the niece asked the boy, "Oh, where are you going to get that? What we have is only about 3 or 4 of those stones." Well, the boy said, "Well, let's go around the neighbor. You help me. Let's go around the neighbor and ask if they could donate one of those stones if they have them, of the 12. So they went out. After a few days, maybe like 3 days, they came back and they got 12, one of each of these precious stones. Atahoniye in the Dortlishi. Did show your he got them. They did. And then they got a buckskin. They put those precious stones, wrap it up with a buckskin. And the Yei told the young man, "After 4 days, I'm going to come to your home, your grandmother's place. And before I get there, I want you to get those 12 stones. Also, I want you to clean all around the hogan. Make sure there's no trash, there's no weeds or anything. Make it nice and neat all around the hogan. And inside the same way. And on the 4th day, I'm going to be there to pick up the precious stone." So he and his niece clean up all around the hogan, pick up all the trash and make sure everything looks nice and neat. And inside, and they had that precious stone wrapped up in the buckskin, precious stones. On the morning at dawn, 4th day, they heard a voice like, "Woo, woo," something like that. And the boy, of course, was waiting for Yei to show up. He heard it. He said it again, 2nd time. The 3rd time, Grandma wakes up and pushed the legs of his grandson, said, "Do you hear something, grandson?" He said, "Yes, I heard it. And those are Yei. They come over here for something." That's what he said. And Grandma says, "Look, grandson, don't lie. No Yei is going to come around to visit someone like you. So don't lie. That's not Yei. Something else making noise out there." And the 4th time, Yei called. The boy jumps up through the curtain that represents the door to the side, and there was Yei standing there. and says to Grandma, "Grandma, you see, here's the Yay. I talked with him several days ago." And she was very, very excited. How in the world, she figures, can this worthless, gambling young boy be honored, be visited by a holy one? So, she got up, and then Ye asked the boy, "Okay, where are the precious stones?" So he woke up his niece, and they presented that bundle to the Ye. And he looked at it, say, "Thank you. We need this." So then Ye said to the young boy, "Come out with me outside." So the boy went outside, and there he saw a rainbow like a carpet, a long, narrow carpet, a rainbow that goes maybe about 20, 30 feet. And at the end stood another Ye. So there was two of them. So Ye then told the young man, of course, the grandma and the niece were all there watching this thing, told the young man, "I want you to step on this rainbow because we're going to take you to the home of the holy ones who are going to help you to build a spiritual boat, a boat that will not sink, a boat that will take you wherever the river is going, wherever the river ends, and we'll protect you." So Grandma shed tears, said goodbye to grandson. So did Denise. Denise then said, asked, "How long you going to be gone?" He said, "I don't know." So she was outside now. There's a little tree right next to the hogan, and on that tree sat a turkey. That was Denise's pet. Like today, we have kittens and dogs for pets. Well, back in those days, turkey was a pet for Denise. So she reached over and took down the turkey and gave it to the boy and said, "You're going to be lonely wherever you are going. I'll let you have my pet turkey to be your companion." So he grabbed hold of the turkey, step on the rainbow, and they lift off. In about a second or two, they end up near Ganado. Nakanado, Chinli. There's a canyon. It's a sacred canyon. And he ended up down there. And in that canyon, there's a huge rock formation on each side, and the water trickles down through the center. And there was a door, solid rock door, opened up. The Ye took them in there. And in there he saw a huge castle made out of turquoise, gold, precious stones, all that glitter. And all those holy ones that is part of the Navajo legend were there, including the warrior twins, Nayet Nezagan, that went to see the sun for help, and many others that's in our legend and our stories as how we were made, how this earth was made, and how we were put here. Who did it? Or they were all there. So they welcome him. You are an earth person. Dene, Nahokat Dene. And we understand you want to make a boat to take you wherever the river flows. We can do that, but we have to have your commitment. We are going to bless you first so that whatever we're going to do for you will be acceptable to the holy ones. So what you want will actually be carried out according to your wishes. So they fed him in a bowl, blue corn mush, told him to eat it. He kept eating. It doesn't go down. Finally, he got full. Still, he didn't eat it all. So they said, oh, fine. So the holy ones went out after that and pick a tree. Trees. They cut it down. They bundle it and transport it all the way to the San Juan River with him. And then there they fix it a nice, maybe like a 12-foot boat, especially inside cushion with soft cloud mattress, pillow, and a nice glass over to the top so he could see up. And many other things they did for him. So the boat is solid. No matter how turbulent the river gets, the boat never overturns. He told him to get inside. So he got inside, good to his size, nice soft pillow, and with his turkey. So he and Turkey got inside and they sealed it. The holy ones then put the boat in the water and it started flowing. And all you could see with it clear, plastic rock. You could see out. So he started floating down the river. And right into present-day Utah. And the river sort of spreads out. And they saw there's some people taking wood that floats down the river, taking them off for firewood. So he began to worry that they see this wooden boat and they'll try to take it away out of the water for firewood. He starts thinking that, and then the Holy One, spiritual voice, says, "Don't worry, they're not going to touch you." So they didn't. He went on. Then there's a fall. The river has a huge fall down in Grand Canyon. This boat went down in that fall, way down deep in the water. And the boat got stuck down there. So with water all around, and they were actually stuck at the home of Water God. And Water God, of course, isolated the boat from the water. So they made him come out, and he's Turkey. And the Water God asked a lot of questions. What are you doing? Where you come from? What's your purpose? And then the Water God said, I'm in charge of the water on this earth. Whatever, I'm the Water God. Whatever we say, water is going to do that. So if you tell me certain things that I need to know, I can get you back to the top and you can keep on going. So they made an agreement. And he floated back up to the top and continued to flow. They went through several other difficulties. Finally, they reach a place where the river just ends. It doesn't flow further anymore, it just goes into the sand. They got out of the boat, Turkey, and they look around. There's nothing out there. Zero. No birds, no noise, no life. Zero. Whichever way they look, there's nothing. There are some rock ridges. No noise, zero. So he's talking to the turkey. He said, we're here where the river ends now. I don't know where this is. I'm sure you don't know either. I know where we are. Nothing to eat. We had to do something. So that night, they made a fire. Sitting there, as they looked way out all around, no birds, no noise, nothing. And they saw a fire way out in the distance, a fire flickering. So, the next morning, they said, the boy says, let's go see where that fire is, or who had that fire going. So they walk out there. It was near the rocks, cliffs. Nothing. The second night, they saw that fire again. They went out there again. Look all around, nothing. The fourth night, they became engineers. The boy says, let's do this. They get a stick like this, like a Y, and put it down in the ground. And then another one further down, and they get a long straight stick, and they're going to line that stick right where that fire is. So it says, in the morning when it's light, we'll use this this stick, to point to exactly where that fire is flickering. So they did. Next morning, they exactly know right near the rock ridges. They went straight to that. There's nothing there. No trace of fire. And the young man moved a little bit and saw a little opening or a wedge. Thick is. And he looked through there, went through the rock formation, and way on the other side was a home. Somebody's living there. So he had the turkey look at it and told the turkey, look, you go back and take care of what we brought. In the meantime, I'm going to go over there to that place that we just now saw, see who lives there. So he went there. And in the meantime, before this happened, because they got nothing to eat, Turkey said to the boy, we can plant some corn, squash, watermelon. He said, yeah, but where are we going to get the seeds? So the turkey says, I have them. So the turkey spread his wings, and yellow corn came out, spread his wing again, blue corn, white corn, all mixed. So they take those and plant them. So when he saw that home way out in distance, he told the turkey to go back and take care of our farm, because everything back in those days, it takes 4 days for things to grow to full maturity. Dichka, 4 was sacred. So go back, and in 4 days, everything should be ripe. Meantime, I'm going over there and see who lives over there. So when he went over there, he got close to the home. It was more like a house structure, not a hogan. And he back in those days, we didn't have good clothes, just a buckskin here and there. And for shoes, it's made out of a yucca wheat woven, yucca reeds. Use that for make it into a shoe. And it was very ugly. So he decided he doesn't want to scare those people who ever lives here. So he took them off and put it up on a tree. So he went in there barefooted. There's no door. You don't knock on doors back in those days. They just had curtains. And you look in there, there's nobody except there's one beautiful girl sitting there. Since he was raggedy, hair all shaggy, he stayed sort of close to the door and started talking to the young girl sitting there. Where's your mom and dad? She said, right next door. There's another house structure. So then he said, tell them there's a man here to see them. So she went out and she came back with her father. And that father welcomed this Navajo and said, we don't see human being like you out here. Where do you come from? He says, I'm Teecnospos. And he said, we told his story. And then the man says, well, you're welcome here. You could stay here. So, gave him skins, bear skins, lion skins, buck skins. Use that for your bed. In the meantime, they brought some food, a bowl of food, toshchin in a bowl. And in the meantime, the old man, this young lady's father, thought that this is a stranger. We've never seen people like that. We don't know what they may be bringing. So they want to kill him. So they put poison in that pudding, cornmeal, right in the center. So she brought in that bowl, told him to eat. So he did eat. Every bit of that toshchin, and except the middle part. A spiritual voice spoke to his ear, saying, don't eat the center part because that's poison. Just eat all around it. So he did. So then the young girl took that bowl back to his father. And his father saw that the guy only ate around it, not in the middle. So he began to think, there's something going on here. Either the guy is smart or just accident. So the next day, in the morning, he gave him another bowl of cornmeal. This time he put the cornmeal all around the edges and nothing in the middle. So again the voice talked to the boy, says, around the edge don't eat, just eat the middle. The young lady took the food back, and the man looked at it again. Now he's really excited, said, hey, wait a minute. And he ate all around, he ate just the middle, nothing around. So he did it 4 times. The last time he put the poison in all the way around, all of it. The young girl brought it again. Then the voice says, the whole thing is poison. Don't eat it. So he said, I'm not hungry today. So he took it back to his father. She took it back to her father. And her father says, this is marvelous. This is not an ordinary person. This person has spiritual help. We need him. We need him, not him personally, but we need him to learn from him what makes him so special, what makes him know all these things that I'm trying to do to kill him. I need to know that. So that was the objective now. This evil father of this young girl now wants to get what makes this young Navajo man, Naatinest, so special that he knows what's going on. The evil father wants to get that information from him some way, somehow. That'll be the next. This would be like a movie series. I used to watch the Lone Ranger movie series. A series would have Lone Ranger doing something, then toward the end, you see he and his horse ran off the cliff. The movie ends, it says, next week we'll see what happened to the Lone Ranger. So the next story, whenever that comes up, I'll continue to tell you what happened to Naatinest. I know I went over my schedule over about 5 minutes now, but I'm telling you, just a highlight. Like I say, if I was to tell you this whole story, you could probably take a year or two, because there's a lot of doings and sayings and songs and prayers that goes along with us. I'm just giving you the highlight of the story of Naatinest. So, they were the evil society that has another separate long story. They are the ones that captured all the animals and all the good things that the holy ones have put in place for Navajo, for their use. They took all of that, and so it was a sort of like a famine out there. So these were the evil people of that time. See, in Navajo stories, there's the good side, the bad side, the evil people, and the good people. this man and his daughter and his wife were the evil ones. They want to gain everything and take it away from the earth people. So that's like I said, that's a separate story, but it's something that really became Navajo Navajo culture, Navajo tradition, Navajo ceremony.
Are there any other questions? Thank you. See any chats?
I promise to finish the story next time, the next session. The ending is good.
Okay.
Remember, this old man is trying to kill this Navajo. And he's got a turkey that has got a farm. And then the end is very interesting, something to remember the rest of our life. Yeah.